Hey everybody, my name is Daryl Beckers and I am thrilled to be facilitating the AMLA 604 course. It's one of my favorite intersections in life, the intersection of how we can leverage learning technologies to enhance and transform world language pedagogies. I'm beaming in today from the Blaine High School Innovation Center. It's where I work Monday through Friday, about 10 months out of the year. I collaborate with outstanding instructional coaches, and we design professional development all year for educators here at the Anoka-Hennepin School District. Majority of my teaching career, I'm coming up on the end of year 25 in teaching and learning, and the bulk of it actually comes from teaching secondary Spanish. My last name is German, it's pronounced Beckers. I'm a licensed teacher of Spanish. I drive a Japanese car, and I love Italian food. So I think of it as like a real, I just celebrate diversity all day long. And when your dad tells you in the 8th grade you should sign up for German, what do? You sign up for Spanish. You do the opposite of what your dad says. So I just want to walk you through a little bit about the syllabus, give you some introductory information, and get things started. Thanks for being patient as we're wrapping up the school year here at Anoka-Hennepin here one more week. Our seniors are done as of yesterday at Blaine High School, and I'll have even more bandwidth. A little bit about me, and you'll see this in the intro slide that you do between now and the end of our official first week of class, is that my wife Christina and I have 3 kiddos that range from 10 to 18. We have a senior who's graduating next week, which is super exciting. And we're both educators. Chrissy and I are both educators, and we spend a lot of time thinking and talking about teaching and learning, and are really enjoying parenting, which is also really exciting. If you ever need to be in touch with me, don't hesitate to reach out by phone or text me. I don't have an office number because I work remotely. We live in Buffalo, Minnesota, northwest of Minneapolis, about 45 minutes. I don't go to Concordia. I've never been to the Concordia College campus. I suspect that might change because my son is going to the University of North Dakota, just north of Fargo in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So I suspect I'll stop off on the way at some point. Basic information, my email address is listed there, my mobile, don't hesitate during standard, office-y hours. But don't hesitate to reach out. A little bit about the goals for the course, some tech stuff. This tends to be a frequent topic when you're teaching an ed tech course, which this is. So just be exploring these resources before we kick off. Things like Brisk Teaching, which is an extension that is AI-driven, Gemini, which many of you are probably familiar with. But then also some audio recording like onlinevoicerecorder.com, which is another tool that we can leverage in language teaching, language acquisition, etc. The text for this course include 3. The course texts for this course are 3 in all, 2 of which I shared with Dr. Glynn. Another one which is a PDF that I think that all world language teachers should know about, and that's the Core 6 Practices of ACTFL. It's a PDF that you want to explore. We'll talk about this a little bit, especially in the first week. But we want to know about what are the pedagogies that we're really examining to be able to amplify and transform, like Joan Hughes talks about with the RAT framework a little bit later on. But 2 texts, one in particular, one that we use at Blaine High School with professional development by Liz Kolb, called Learning First, Technology Second. So thinking about really being purposeful with technology and really leaning into goals, curriculum, standards, leaning in with your learning targets and letting that steer ahead of just shiny aluminum objects in particular. And then the other one I don't have with me, which is the Miller et al. Text, Don't Ditch That Tech. And that really focuses on differentiated instruction. We'll have a chance to design instruction that offers a second scoop of learning for a student who's a rehearsal student, who just needs another chance at some relearning before assessment. And then we'll also look at designing instruction for a student who I call a mastery student, maybe somebody who comes in with a FLES experience, K5, and they come in a 712 setting and they're wondering why their peers aren't on the same level as them. And we can still make learning valuable, we can still make it memorable, oftentimes with the help of learning technologies. Here are some hashtags that I would invite you to explore throughout. Those are still valuable. I want to talk about some kind of key assignments and kind of talk you through a little bit. Go ahead and explore these, but obviously class participation is important. We actually used feedback from evaluations to shift the time and day offering for this. We used to run this course in the middle of the day at like 10 in the morning, and the feedback said, let's look at some other options. We're going to engage in a social media assignment. It used to really focus on Twitter before Twitter became a dumpster fire, and we're looking at other tools like Blue Sky app. You can connect with resources like YouTube and Pinterest. And that's actually going to be a nice chance for us to engage in an interview with really a pillar former ACFL board member named Leslie Gran. And Leslie's going to join us for our first session. Part of the work that you're going to do in the preliminary work is to prepare for an interview with Leslie. So she's going to jump on the chat with us on our first week. In the end, you're really aiming to design instruction in target language, 90% or more, with the help of learning technologies. And then we're going to reflect on that in a paper also. One of the things that I'm going to guide you in week 2, officially week 2, is something that I call Lesson 2.0. It's taking work that you designed in Education 600 and then just revamp it, thinking about what are my goals and what are tools that we can leverage to take it to the next level with the help of tech. Here's what an agenda typically looks like. I've actually gone away from listing all of the agendas on the syllabus because people started feeling like, do I go back to the syllabus agenda? Do I go back to your online agenda? Daryl, I also see that there's a checklist that's optional on the Moodle course. Which one do I check off? So this is what an agenda will look like that I'm going to have you engage in during the preliminary session. Notice that our first session is listed here as Monday 6/2, 4:30 Central Daylight Time because I'm based out of the near Minneapolis area. And these are tasks that I'm asking for you to arrive ready in July. So these are tasks that are done on the front end so that our 3 weeks together are going to go really seamless. And part of that includes that preparation for the interview with Leslie Grant. Now, I'm giving you kind of a sneak peek at what the weeks look like. So here's like a list of, these are some topics and assignments that we're going to explore in the preliminary week. Here's some information about week 1. Here's some information about week 2. Notice the highlighted sections. 4:30 to 6:30 on Mondays in July, the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st is when we're going to connect synchronously on Zoom. You're going to find the Zoom links on the Moodle course and as a part of this email. So you'll see that included there also. I guess I want to ask that you dedicate that time for the synchronous sessions as time that we are connecting as a class. I am purposeful and intentional to make class building activities where we create culture as a classroom still while also being online, which is tricky, but it's still manageable. So join us for those sessions. I know that many of us have a lot of barriers like, Daryl, I've got a family of 3. Daryl, I don't have a lot of family members that live near me. Let's get creative and really dedicate that time of those 2 hours as time for us to connect 3 times. And I really look forward to it. And so I really enjoy teaching this course. I don't need to teach this course. I really love teaching this course. And I'm going to make time for you all, and I would expect the same. Now, deadlines that are mentioned in Moodle are suggested deadlines. I want to lower people's anxiety coming into summer when people are thinking, Daryl, I'm working part-time and full-time. Daryl, I've got a family that I'm raising. Daryl, I've got parents that are aging that I need to help care for. Believe me, I can empathize on all of those accounts. The suggested wrap-up for this course is on 8/8. So when I talk about suggesting social media assignment, do week 1, you really have until the 8th of August to wrap all of this up. So I want to lower everybody's anxiety and say, we have the time. There are suggested deadlines for you to bring, but really in the end, it needs to be submitted by 8/8, whether it's the micro teach, whether it's the social media assignment. And I also want to add that there have been assignments that have been pared down to make this more manageable. So there have been a lot of transformations in my 4 or 5 years in teaching these courses. So I really invite you to explore the syllabus, bring questions for the Monday kickoff. There is a Zoom link code. I'm just going through my notes that I want to make sure that I share with you. There's a Zoom link code in case you need it. That's a part of the email, and that's a part of the link on the Moodle course. Also, be prepared for that interview in July with Leslie. That's part of the work that we're going to do in June, previewing her Blue Sky account, digging into her Pinterest boards that she shared. Take a look at her website. Wowza, it is chock full of resources for world language teachers. I'm really excited for you to meet Leslie. She is an awesome presenter. I've had a chance to engage in professional development that Leslie facilitates, which is awesome. And she's a great presenter, and I just am looking forward to having 20 minutes to bend her ear and also to introduce ourselves to Leslie. She's extraordinary. My office hours. I did something different last year that I really appreciate that we did. One of the requests as a part of the course is that you do some kind of a formal check-in with me sometime throughout the course. So between the time that we do a kickoff all the way till the 8th of August, at some point I want you to check in. And maybe that's in week 1 when you're thinking about your micro teach, or maybe it's a point where you're feeling stuck and you just want to connect. Send me an email, shoot me a text. Hey, can we meet tomorrow at fill in the blank time? And we'll definitely make something happen. Jumping on a Zoom call, connecting by phone, whatever the case may be, in order to get you unstuck, to clarify a little bit about the assignment. I really think that that's key. I taught for 4 years at an institution where we prepared teachers. And the best feedback that I got was when I was teaching 90% of my courses online was, Daryl, you made time to connect with me individually. I felt like I got unstuck. So I'm going to keep that as a portion of this. I host office hours in weeks 1, 2, and 3, Friday mornings at 9 o'clock. I do ask that you RSVP, because if no one RSVPs, I'm not just going to jump on the Zoom link. But if there are folks who have questions, I can push pancakes back until 10 o'clock on a Friday with my kids in order to connect with you. Or maybe the house is up a little bit early and I can have breakfast with them before we jump online. One of the fun pieces that I ask that you arrive with at the kickoff is an alliteration name. I've had Kit Kat Kellys. I've had Laughin' Luciennes. I'll go by Dancin' Daryl. Now, I'm not a proficient dancer, but I am one of the first ones at the wedding to get out to the dance floor, because I just enjoy being out with people and dancing and having fun and just laughing and enjoying our time. So I'll go by Dancin' Daryl. Arrive ready with a name that is an alliteration of your name. Starts with the same letter and maybe even like the same sound also. So I look forward to meeting you all on Monday. I would just say kind of push pause and kind of hold on to your questions until after our session on Monday, 6/2 at 4:30 Central Time on Zoom. I'm looking forward to taking your world language instruction and kick it up a notch with the help of learning technologies. Have an awesome weekend. I took a look at the forecast over the weekend. Wowza, it's going to be pretty. Can't wait to meet you all Monday. Take care, everybody.